John Bickley is a member of UKIP's National Executive Committee and the party's spokesman on immigration. Thanks for coming in, Mr. Bickley. Do you pick up this sense that Britain is becoming more racist, that we really are dividing, fracturing more than ever before?
No, I don't. I think the problem with the word racism is its meaning has been changed, particularly by people on the left over the last 15 years. If you talk about immigration now, and depending which party you're in, you're called racist. Now, if you think about this, every country outside of the Schengen area controls immigration. So does that mean they're racist? So I think when you ask people about racism, is it a metaphor for actually talking about, is immigration become something that concerns them even more than it did a year ago? And I think Brexit very much was about immigration as one of the key points about taking back control. I think we need to be very careful here. Certainly people on the Remain side who just can't accept they lost the referendum are desperately trying to paint those people who voted Leave as either stupid, uneducated, or they've actually been called racist.
But are you saying that there should be no controls on language at all, that people should just be able to express whatever they feel regardless of whether it upsets or offends?
Well, I believe in free speech. I believe in the ability to offend people. You know, my mother always said to me, you know, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. So I think people should be free to say what they say. But the problem with this word racism, it's a bit like Orwellian doublespeak. It doesn't really mean what it does mean, which is one race feeling more superior than the other. Immigration's about numbers. I mean, as far as UKIP's concerned, we want an immigration policy where anyone in the world, regardless of skin colour, ethnicity, sexuality or creed, believes they have an opportunity to come here. But it has to be done under a controlled Australian-type points-based system. We don't care about people's ethnicity. It's numbers. And at the end of the day, a sovereign nation and a government that's elected by the people, one of the things it really needs to do is control its borders and control who comes here. And that when they come here, they're going to add value to our society. Of course, that's not happened over the last 20 years. And in fact, the Tory government can't even control the numbers coming from outside of the EU, numbers they're supposed to be able to control.
But can you really divorce the two, though? I mean, the problem is that there has been an uptick in the number of racist attacks since the referendum. 41% we're talking about. These are official figures. I mean,
well, certainly in the first few days after the referendum.
Well, then that would suggest that there is some correlation
but
then.
Just for a few days. And in fact, I think the latest figures show that if you're talking about hate crime, that's actually fallen back below last year's figures. I mean, I think a lot of people, particularly some people on the Remain side, a lot of people in the Labour Party in particular, and the Liberal Democratic Party, just couldn't accept the result, couldn't accept that the people had decided to speak up for themselves at last. And so they decided just to undermine them and call them names. And as we know, we've been told if you voted Leave, you're stupid, you're racist, you're uneducated. That isn't going to go down really well in working class heartlands.
The problem is, though, that this becomes very binary, doesn't it? I mean, do you accept that immigration does bring added benefit to this country?
Of course it does. I mean, our party is very much about immigration. We believe immigration is very positive for this country, but not uncontrolled immigration. Again, I point you to what I said earlier. Outside of the Schengen area, every country in the world controls its borders and controls its immigration. I mean, I can't go to Australia and decide I want to live there because the weather's much better than over here. I can only go there if I get there on their points-based system. I can't go and live in California, even though I might very well like to. I mean, this is the way the world works. You just can't have mass movements of people where countries are not capable of actually integrating them. And what's gone wrong over here in the last 15 to 20 years, and it's particularly gone wrong in working class areas because they've taken the brunt of both unskilled immigration and asylum seekers. I mean, in Rochdale, for instance, back in 2014, they had more asylum seekers housed in Rochdale than the whole of the southeast of England. So it's no great surprise that in Labour heartlands, up in the north, where people are relatively poor compared to the southeast, they feel pretty peeved. And they want us to take back control, and they want immigration controlling, and they want our borders patrolling and controlling.
We must wrap it up there, but John Bickley from UKIP, thank you very much indeed. Well, we'll be...
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.